So this week, on Tuesday, I had an appointment with the doctor. It was 2 weeks after my surgery to have a hip replacement. And I went into the doctor, and as I was being examined, I said to the doctor, I said, "Hey, doc, I'm concerned." And he says, "Why are you concerned?" I said, "Because I've got all this pain." And he says, "Well, what kind of pain?" And I described the pain that I had to him. And he says, "Well, Lee, you had major surgery. You should be having that pain." And I said, "Really?" I said, "I thought that within 2 weeks, I should be able to be out of this pain." He says, "Lee, that's not going to happen. You don't understand what we did to your body." I said, "Really?" And he says, he looked at me, checked me out. He says, "You're doing great. You're advancing quicker than you ever thought." But I was worried. I was worried that I was not advancing because I had set an expectation that was not real, that I could not achieve. And so I had worry about it. But then I went on and I asked the doctor all these questions. I even asked the doctor the question. I said, "So if I'm doing well, when can I start working out?" And the doctor said to me, he says, "You can start working out your upper body tomorrow." I said, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, you're that well advanced. You just can't use your lower body." I said, "Oh my God." And in that moment, when he told me I could start working out again, I stopped worrying because I knew I was on the path to recovery. And so I realized that I had this false worry going on in me. And so I thought, that's what I'll talk about today. So my talk title today is Worry, the Black Hole of the Mind. Did you hear what I just said? The black hole of the mind. So what does that envision for you? I'll tell you what it does for me. It envisions that when you're worrying, you can have all these great thoughts, positive thoughts, expansive thoughts, but guess what happens when worry comes in? It just eats them up. You can't hold them. They don't stick with you. No matter how much you try, it just sticks with you. And so worry will do that, especially if you don't find a way to disengage. And so why do we worry? Well, I think the reason we worry is real simple. We've been taught it from day one. Our parents taught us to worry. They taught us to worry about pleasing them, doing what's right, doing what's wrong. Whatever religion you were brought up in taught you to worry because if you don't do what's right, you're going to be damned to hell. School taught you if you don't worry about your grades, you're not going to pass, you're going to fail, then you're going to get held back and it's going to be a stigma on you. And then you talk about, well, we've got this American dream. If I'm not a vice president, having my home in the suburbs with my country club membership, my 2.2 children and my cars and all of that, then I'm not deemed successful. And what's society going to think about me? So we've been conditioned by outside influences that we blindly bought into, and we worry about completely irrelevant things. Things that have no bearing on whether we're happy or not, but we blindly accepted that they do. So where does worry come from then? Unrealistic beliefs. Not only unrealistic beliefs, but beliefs that don't align with the very nature of who we are. You know, we talk about the aspect about the hierarchy of values, that everyone has a different hierarchy of values. Well, if I'm doing something and it's not in the hierarchy of my values, guess what? I'm going to have a hard time achieving it. And if I build that belief, I'm going to worry about it. But if I'm in alignment with the hierarchy of my values, I just see everything as on the way. I don't worry about it. I say, oh, that's just part of the process. But guess what? If it's not on the way, if it's something that I don't value, then I'm going to fret. I'm going to worry. I'm going to struggle. I'm going to procrastinate. You notice that? That when you worry, you procrastinate a lot? Because whatever you're worrying about is really not that important to you, but for some reason it's stuck there in your mind and it's on a gigaloop. It's just playing over and over and over again. So worry is basically a perception of how we look at life. Do you get that? It's a perception. It's the view. It's the lens through which we look at life. Now let me ask this question of you. Who controls how you look at life? You do. No one else controls how you see life. And that's the beauty of the teachings that we talk about at Agape. We talk about that we are 100% responsible for how we experience our lives, because only we can control the perception through which we look at it. It is when we adjust the perception of how we see our lives that we develop a whole new experience of life itself. Nothing changes, just our perception. So what is worry then? It's real simple, folks. It's misplaced faith. You put your faith in something that it's going to go wrong. You put your faith in something that's not going to happen. You put your faith in something that you don't want. That you don't want to happen. You've bought into the lies that society around you is telling you. Because that's what it is. They're all lies. It's all made up. Whatever you buy into becomes your belief, and whatever becomes your belief becomes your experience. So I invite you to start looking at that. I know this is not easy what I'm asking you to look at, but if you don't start looking at it and you don't start taking control, then you're going to be in victim modality all of your life. And you were not brought here. You did not come forth to be a victim. You came here to be a creator. So worry is simply, in my estimation, not knowing who we are. Isn't that interesting? If you knew that you were an individualization of the infinite, if you knew that that thing we call God or infinite mind, divine intelligence, created you out of itself, and that you were created perfect, and that you were created unique, and you were created with desires within you that are unique to you to do, and you knew that, and you were on that path, I ask you this: would you worry? No. But if you didn't know who you are, would you be able to be influenced? Yes. Would you be able to be influenced to do things that are not what you want to do? Yes. Would you be given standards that you accepted, expectations you accepted that are not even realistic? Yes. So you see, when we really discover who we are and we start living our most authentic life, and we accept ourselves as we are, which is self-love, worry fades and it disappears. Ernest Holmes said this. This is the key to the teachings of religious science. And I am a religious science minister. I love saying that I'm a religious science minister because I take spiritual concepts and I prove them. You see, that's what a scientist does. It takes a concept and it proves it. So I take spiritual principles and I prove them and I teach it. I teach these principles to others so that they can prove them for themselves. Because we're all, if we want to be, if we accept it, we're all religious scientists. But we have to prove it for ourselves. We can't just accept someone else's wisdom. It's not how it works. Experience is how we get it. Ernest Holmes said this at the beginning of probably every talk he did. He said, there is a power for good in the universe that is greater than we are, and we can use it. There's a power for good in the universe that is greater than we are, and we can use it. Now think about that. If you understood there's a power greater than you, and you understood that it's for good, that it's for your highest benefit, and you understood that that power could be used by you in every moment. In fact, that power is being used by you in every moment, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. 24/7, 365, the power that is greater than you, that's for good, creating what you desire, you're using it in every moment. But just think, if you really embodied this statement that Ernest put out there, what would happen in your life? Worry would disappear. Because you understood there's a power within you that you can change anything. So there's no need to worry. There's just simply using that power for good. What is good here? That which you're seeking to experience. That which is the highest interest that you've developed for yourself. But you see, before you can do all these things, you've got to understand, who are you? I'm a unique, whole, individualized expression of the infinite. I'm made out of the infinite. The very power that created me, I can use to create my experience. And that power for good in the universe that's greater than me, that I'm a part of, I'm using it. And when you embody that, you get to use that in every aspect of your life. Think about that. Doesn't matter whether it's abundance, whether it's health, whether it's money, whether it's relationships, whether it's connection, whether it's union. It doesn't matter. That power works in every aspect of life. The question is, in order to use it, you've got to be conscious. You've got to become aware that your words, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, by you speaking them, feeling, doing them, and thinking them, have power. And if you truly knew the power that you had, would you be saying, thinking, doing, and feeling some of the things that you are? Would you allow anyone into your life to contradict you and where you want to go? No, you'd say, heck no. Heck no. I put out a thought this week, and that thought this week was, when someone moves out of your life, let it go. Did you really hear that? When someone or something moves out of your life, let it go. Why? Because it's no longer a vibrational or energetic match to you. That's one of the hardest things I've had to learn. So you go back and you think about the friends you had in high school, in college. Why are they no longer in your life? Because you've changed. They've changed. And if you try to hold on to them, what happens? Stops you from changing, stops you from growing. And you see that all the time. Here's the other thing. This I've learned as a minister. People come to Agape. They come in, they plug in, they're there, they're committed, they're learning, and they leave. And a lot of people say, well, you need to be a shepherd. You need to go find them. And I said, no, I'm not a shepherd. I'm not responsible for people. I'm a teacher. I teach people what I've got, and when they're ready, they'll hear what I've got, they'll use it, and they don't need me anymore. And so when people leave, I bless them. I bless them. And if they want to come back into the community and be a part of the community, I welcome them back. But I don't go chase people. I don't go try to bring back that which I'm no longer a vibrational match to. And here's the thing, I'm changing constantly. How about you? I know in the last 6 months, I'm a completely different person than I was 6 months ago. Because I've used this time under COVID to expand my awareness, to go deeper into what I desire, to become clearer on who I am and where I want to take myself. I notice that whenever I do guided meditations in the morning with a group of people on Zoom, that the people I'm talking to are people all over the country and the world. Very few people from Dallas-Fort Worth. 2 or 3 from Dallas-Fort Worth, everyone else from around the country and around the world. So you release that which is not vibrating the way you are. And you don't fear it. You don't worry about it. Oh, I don't have any older friends. No. But do you have friends now that are truly deep, meaningful relationships? Because that's all that matters. All that matters is now. And this is the really key thing about this talk today about worry. Is if you're living in the now, you can't bring the past in. Without the past, there's no worry about the past repeating itself. If you don't bring the future in, there's no anxiety about the future coming. So by simply living in the now, in this moment, worry dissolves. It cannot exist. Because in this moment, you are whole and perfect, just as you are. And so is your life. But if you go back and you compare it to the past or an expectation of the future, now you're out of sync. And you're not in the now. And guess what? When you're not in the now, you're not in love. And that's the only thing that matters, is love. Accepting yourself as you are in this moment and moving forward to the greater you. I want you to really contemplate the message this week, and anytime you worry, come back to the present moment. Come back to the now and realize you're creating an illusion that is not real for you. The truth is, you're whole and perfect just as you are. Have a great week. I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm so grateful that you took your time to watch or listen to this message. If you found this message beneficial, I would ask that you go to our website, agapecsl.com. Once there, click on the donate button and experience the joy of conscious and purposeful giving. Or if you would like, text your gift by simply dialing 972-532-6976. It is through your gifts that we are able to bring this message to you in the world. I would ask that if you like this message, to please subscribe to my YouTube channel under my name, Lee Wolak. Again, I want to thank you for joining me in the Agape community as we learn how to better self-love through conscious living.